Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nicole if you're new, and I love making recipes in the kitchen. So today we are going to do one of my favorite party appetizers, some pork lumpia. For me, not to be super stressed on day of the party, I'm gonna go ahead and do a make-ahead version of these. So we're going to assemble them, put the mixture together, roll them up, and fry them later frozen. This is a super easy recipe that I'm following today. This is pork lumpia Shanghai style, Filipino style. I haven't made this exact version before, so let's do this together and try it out. Let's get started. Now I already have my ground pork thawing on my countertop this morning, so let's go ahead and get our vegetables processed. I'm gonna use about 1 pound of ground pork, which is half of the recipe. So I'm gonna add in about half of a carrot stick in my food processor. And I already prepped my vegetables yesterday just to make today even easier. I have a half of a celery stalk with the leaves on. And I'm also gonna throw in about half of a red onion as well. And 2 garlic cloves, but I'm just gonna go ahead and add 3 just because I love garlic. And we're gonna get this blended up. All right, so I grabbed my 1 pound of ground pork in here, and this is how finely I did our vegetable chop. I want it to blend in quite well with the meat, so I'm gonna add all of that in. I also have about 2 green onions that I chopped yesterday as well, so I'm gonna add those in. Now, for our seasonings, to flavor this up, I'm gonna start with some chicken bouillon. For this amount of filling, I need about half a teaspoon. I only have the sodium-free kind in my pantry, so I'm going to add a little more salt when we get to that part. I'm gonna do half a tablespoon of some soy sauce. This is also low sodium. And 1 teaspoon of salt, but I'll do a little more since I'm using a lot of sodium for low sodium ingredients. And I'll also do half a teaspoon of pepper, black pepper. Probably a little more because I love pepper. And then I have 1 egg. Add that. And then we'll just go ahead and mix everything up. I'll probably have to get in here with my hands, we'll see. But this, even half of the original recipe, I can link it down below if any of you are interested in trying it out. But this should make a pretty good amount of lumpia rolls as well. And so for my holiday party, I am making these for my Thanksgiving appetizer. And so similar to egg rolls, which I love, we had a really great egg roll shop growing up where I used to live. And we would buy party trays of them for a ton of our childhood or family parties growing up. Like the aunts would take turns, parents, cousins, for many, many years, and we loved them. And this recipe slightly reminds me of it. So I'm excited to try these out. Actually, that looks pretty well mixed. Okay, so now we're going to grab our wrappers to get these rolled up. Actually, today I'm going to try and add this to a piping bag or just a freezer zip bag to see if we can pipe them out a bit easier. I don't know how well it'll work, but let's give it a try. Okay, now the wrappers I'm gonna use today are these ones from Twin Dragon. You can get them at any Asian store, but I also found them at my local Albertsons. These are my favorite ones to use when making lumpia or fried spring rolls, egg rolls, whatever you want to call them. So we're just gonna open up this pack and try and start separating. Now I'm also gonna get like a damp wet cloth or wet paper towel because these will dry out if you don't keep something covered on them. So let's do that really quickly. Okay, so I have this covered. Let's grab a few of these out. And I know some people like to double wrap their rolls. I don't do that, but I'm sure you certainly could, just to have that extra thick layer of wrapper. But for us, I don't think it's super necessary. Here is my huge bag of pork filling. Just gonna cut a hole, snip off the tip, see if this works. Now we're just going to add a line like that of our meat mixture. Oh, it works pretty well actually. Definitely not super messy like normally when I make them, or when I have made them. We're just gonna do our filling. Now on the recipe video that I was watching, after he piped, he didn't actually close up the ends, but I'm gonna be doing that today just because I like to see little pockets. I'm gonna fold in the sides, roll up like a little envelope, and then I just made a little cornstarch slurry here. And I'm gonna wet my edges with it. And roll it up, like that. Super easy. And once I get a few of these rolled up, I'll grab a tray that also has a little moisture, damp paper towel as well, to keep them from drying out as we roll. Cornstarch slurry. Cute little wrap. Last one. And then after you get a few of these done, you should be able to bang them out pretty quickly. Just the first few ones is when you're getting the hang of it again. All right, cornstarch slurry. Roll them up. Done. All right, I'm gonna get the rest of these covered and rolled up. Okay, now that we have them all rolled up, I just placed them in my container here, and I placed them sort of in a single layer, separated by parchment paper. I have about 3 layers of rolls in here. So I separated them so that we can get them in the freezer until they get completely solid. And then once they are, I'm gonna bag them up, and I'll even fry a couple of them just as a test so that we can see how they turn out ahead of the party. I just pulled out my pork lumpia from the freezer, and they are quite hard. So now I'm going to take them and add them all to a big baggie to get prepped and have them ready to take out for frying day of. But we are gonna set aside a few of them to fry right now and see how they turn out together. So I have my oil heating up in my pan to a fry temp, and we wanna get these to 160 degrees internal temp to make sure that those are cooked through. All right, so let's do that now. Okay, I have some vegetable oil in my pan, and I'm gonna put in my chopstick to see if we have little bubbles floating up, and we do. So it is hot enough for frying. Let's add in a few of our frozen egg rolls. I don't know if we can get all 4 in. Let's give it a try. And we're just gonna let these go for a few minutes and maybe check on them and turn them after like 3 minutes or so. Okay. I just did a temp check. And these have reached 160. I'm gonna go ahead and take them out of my oil onto a wire cooling rack. All right, it took about 6 minutes from frozen to reach temp in the fry. So I'm just gonna cut one open so we can have a look. Oh, very hot, very crunchy. Let's see if you can see that. Super crispy skin, fully cooked on the inside. We're gonna let it cool down for a second and then have a taste. Oh my goodness, these are so yummy and crispy. You wouldn't even have known that I froze them and fried them from freezer. So good, I highly recommend you try this one because they are actually such an easy party appetizer. I can't wait to serve these. All right, everyone, that is it for this video. Let me know what you think of these super easy party lumpia appetizers. If you like this one, please make sure you give me a thumbs up on this video because that would really help out my channel. If you want to see more of me in the kitchen, make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss any of the videos I have coming out soon. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.